Okay, so let's look at example 2. So again, we're always going to start by writing our equation. So on this side, on the left side of this equal sign, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4x. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. But look, these are negatives. So I have minus 4. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Okay. So again, I need to get these x's by themselves. And so to do that, I need to get rid of whatever else is on this side of the equal sign. So this time, they're negative. So what's the opposite of a negative? What would give me a 0 pair with a negative 1? Well, that would be a positive 1, right? So I'm canceling out a negative 1 with a positive 1. And canceling a negative with a positive. Canceling a negative with a positive. These are all 0 pairs. And to make it equal, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So on this side, this negative 1 and positive 1 are canceling. So we're canceling these 4. But on this side, nothing is canceling because none of them are 0 pairs, which is just fine. Okay, so by creating 0 pairs, I added 4 on the left, which is the opposite of subtracting 4, right? So I added 4 on the right as well. Okay, so now I have 4x on the left equals, and I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8 plus 4 is 12. Okay. So now I am going to count to, we have how many x's? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to count to 4 and see how many times I can do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I counted to 4 3 times, which means x equals 3. So like these 3 are going to go into this x. These 3 go into this x. These 3 go here, and these go here. So we are evenly dividing ours into the x's. Okay. So that was me dividing each side by 4, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay. So today we are learning this modeling process. So we're using pictures. So today you have to use pictures. Tomorrow we're going to just be working with this solving piece. But today we're practicing the modeling so that we can fully understand what we're doing. Okay, so let's look at example 3. So again, our first step is to write out our equation. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So plus 6 equals 1. Okay. All right, so I'm looking at this side of my equation with my x's, right? And so I have these 6 here. And so I need to get rid of those so I can get my x's by myself, by their selves. So I have 6 positive ones. So to cancel out a positive, I need a negative. So I have these cancel. So 1. Oops, that should be negative. 2, 3, 6, 4, 5, and 6. Now if I did that to this side, I have to do the same to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now these cancel on this side, right? Because a positive and a negative cancel each other out. So let me fix that little thing there. Okay, that was supposed to be canceled. All right, so basically I added -6, right? Or I subtracted 6 from each side. Excuse me. So I just have 5x left on the left, and then I took 6 away. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5, but they're all negative, so I have -5. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, since I have 5 x's, I'm going to count to 5 and see how many times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I only counted to 5 once. So that means each of these, just one of them, is going to go to each x. We are evenly distributing them. So what went into each x? Well, a -1 went into each x, right? So x is equal to -1. And we get that by dividing. We divided it by -5. So, or I'm sorry, by 5. Because we had 5 x's. And so -5 divided by 5 is -1, because that's what went into each x. Okay, so again, today we are doing pictures. You do have to do your pictures, but tomorrow you're going to just do the equations. So let's go ahead and look at your independent practice. All right, so in looking at our independent practice, let's just go ahead and look at one together to make sure we have a full understanding. So we need to be using the models and writing our equation. So our first step is to write the equation. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 6 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2, right? 16. Okay. All right, so I have my equal sign, right? So what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. I have to keep them fair or balanced or equal, okay? So my first thing is I need to get rid of these items that are on this side of the equal sign with the x's. So I have a +1 here. So to cancel out a +1, I need to add a -1. These are called zero pairs. So I did negative there, I did negative here, okay? So if I add -6 on this side, I have to add -6 on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? All right, and so since I have a positive and a negative, those cancel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that was just like subtracting 6 from each side, right? The opposite of adding 6 is subtracting 6. So that gives me 5x still on this side, and 16 minus 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 left on this side, okay? So now I have 5 x's, so I'm going to see how many times I can count to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I did it twice, so that means that each x is going to get 2. So I'm putting 2 into each x. 1, 2. 2. 1, 2. And 1, 2. All right. So that was, I divided the 10 evenly into the 5 x's. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay. So now, guys, it's up to you. So please make sure that you are using your models to solve these equations. Okay. So remember, if you have negatives, you cancel a negative with a positive. If you have a positive one, you cancel it with a negative one. Okay? That's what we call a zero pair. So a zero pair is taking a positive one and a negative one, right? And they are canceling each other out. Okay, that's what a zero pair is. So go ahead and work through these practice problems. All right, when you get down to number 10, this is a review of our equations, our linear relationships of y equals mx plus b. So remember back, we used our b for our y-intercept, okay? And we would always color our y-axis, okay? And then we used our m for our rate of change, and that's where we talked about Louis, okay? So let's make sure that we are getting our independent practice done, and make sure to ask any questions you need to, because we're going to be building on this the rest of the week as well as after Thanksgiving. Okay, keep up the good work, guys.